I never grew up going, I'm going to be a retailer. But as it kept kind of coalescing, you're like, this is cool to make something and then share it with somebody. That's kind of our approach to the clothes. We don't put anything in the store we're not wearing because then you got to sell it. You got to sell it. It ain't sharing anymore.
Right.
Welcome to the Blackberry Podcast, where we share stories, wisdom, and insight from the amazing people that we get to meet and collaborate with at Blackberry Farm. I'm Sarah Chabot.
And I'm Mary Celeste Beall. I'm so excited to introduce you to our guests today, Sid and Ann Mashburn. Sid and Ann are two of the South's favorite voices in American style. Before launching Sid Mashburn and Ann Mashburn in Atlanta, Sid helped shape iconic American retailers like J.Crew and Tommy Hilfiger, while Ann built an impressive career in fashion editorial working with publications including Vogue and Glamour. We're excited to talk to them about entrepreneurship, creativity, partnership, and the art of building something with longevity and soul. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Nice to see y'all and be with y'all.
It is such a treat to have y'all at Blackberry. Such a treat.
Well, we love it here.
Oh,
Second time.
well, I just love thinking that y'all are working together. I mean, but you've got to take us back to the early days. How did this start, the two of you working together?
Well, first, I'll just say our desks are 47 and a half inches apart. Too close for her and too far for me. It has
Challenging.
its moments of joy, but also the moments of challenge. So it's,
I mean, I would say that actually we work together professionally. I've had this company and we've worked together doing this for almost 20 years. But I mean, I would say that we have worked together in a way since we met when we were not even 24. How old were we? And I think kind of what we've built is based on the fact that we were lucky enough to meet in New York when we were very young. And so we kind of grew up together. And I would say we're working in the same industry. So we kind of formed who we were together. And that kind of helped us make our business in a way because it is an extension of our personalities, our style, how we go into the world. So I think we've been working together since we met in June, a long time ago,
And
30,
started-
40 years ago, something like
40
that.
years
Yeah.
ago.
Oh, this
Yeah.
means there's an anniversary coming up
Yes.
of
it
your
is, yeah.
first meeting.
Yeah, which actually we kind of do like to celebrate that more than our wedding.
Actually, that's in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
That'll be
41 years?
41 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. We met on June 2nd, 1985 at
And
the
what was-
beach.
At the beach
Yeah.
in New York.
It was not the Hamptons, though.
It was Long Beach. You had to take
Long
the
Beach.
train. It was when you didn't get invited to the Hamptons. You took the train to
The closest
the
beach
not
to,
as
to
nice
Manhattan.
beach. I mean, Long Beach is nice, but it's not the Hamptons.
And where did y'all grow up?
You go
In different places. Well, you say you grew up in Mississippi.
Ann's a
Yeah.
Yankee. I'm from Mississippi originally, and I stayed there till I graduated from college and then fled to New York as quickly as I could, thinking that I was leaving Mississippi behind, but not at all. It's like the more I lived in New York, the more Mississippi I kind of felt.
Right.
And one thing that was a certain and great welcome to me is that we had the annual Mississippi picnic. Have y'all ever been to that?
No.
I don't even know if it's still going on, but it was awesome.
It's the second week in June. Everybody from Mississippi who lives in New York, and then people who wanted to come for the weekend when
Right.
we had a very small apartment, and there would be lots of people spending the night on the couch. But you went up to, it was like in the 90s in the park.
Yeah, right across from Mount Sinai.
Yep. And they had like
Fried catfish, blues band, watermelon seed spitting contest, fried chicken contest, and people got there early and stayed late.
Oh,
and it was,
Yeah.
and actually every other state was kind of like, well, when are we gonna
What?
get our own
Yeah.
picnic? And it's like and my friend from Lake Charles, Louisiana, started one. He's like, man, this ain't as good as the Mississippi picnic.
Well, Mississippi knows how to tailgate. Pretty picnic.
Actually, they should be the hospitality. Actually, they might be the hospitality state, but
So I did get second place in the fried chicken contest.
Oh, wow.
I think it was the first time I ever made fried chicken. but
it was good.
it was
I
pretty
mean,
good. Yeah.
that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, it was.
Since
Now
you're
I'm
not a
telling you, this
native
was a long
Southerner.
time ago. Yeah, but fried chicken. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, so I had a grandmother who grew up on a farm in Nebraska, and so it was her recipe. It's pretty much the same as everybody else does: buttermilk, flour.
So y'all met in New York, fell in love, were working separately, and you're in the fashion industry. And at what point did you say, okay, let's do this together? Let's take the plunge and start our own company?
Well, she helped me get my first design job because I went up there and I tried to go to fashion school, and they were kind of like, this Ole Miss degree doesn't really work so well up here. You're going to start over. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I was working retail, and the guy that had a really cool brand called British Khaki invited or started shopping with me, and we shared a tailor, Raffaele, who was on 57th Street. And Raphael told me, he said, Robert likes you. I was like, well, that's great. I like him too. He said, no, he wants you to work for him. And so we got together, and Robert offered me a job. I said, well, what do you want me to do? He said, sales. I said, will you teach me how to design? He said, sure, I'd love to. That was design school for me. So I started working for him and learned it, and then or started learning it, and then went to the beach June 2nd, 1985.
So I was working at Vogue. I worked for Polly Mellon, who was, a very famous, very dramatic, amazing editor. And because I was running around with all the Vogue people, we were at a cocktail party. And my friend was like, gosh, your boyfriend's really, cute, and he has a lot of style. I wonder if he'd want to come interview for us. Well, this was this very young company. It happened.
Nameless,
Yeah.
startup, New Jersey based. Nothing anybody in New York fashion would want to be associated with. But turned out
But it was J.Crew. So he was fortunate because it was a lot of young people, really dynamic place. And they hired him to be the first head of men's design, which was, a very little experience, but a great style. So that's how he started his career, and you've already heard about mine. But had many different posts, as you said in the nice intro. Went to go work at Ralph Lauren, and then Tommy Hilfiger. But he was working lastly before we started our business at Land's End. And we had moved out there for him to take this great job. And I thought it would end very quickly because a lot of times creative companies hire, someone dynamic and then decide because they want to make a change. And then oftentimes they don't really want to change. So you move on. And I was fine with that because I didn't really want to live in Wisconsin for a really long time.
The cool thing, though, is J.Crew was a DTC company. And Land's End was a DTC company.
Direct to consumer.
Yeah, but back then there was no DTC acronym. It was a catalog company, but it was mining zip codes and really looking at the customer in a very different way. As a matter of fact, while I was at J.Crew, we started opening brick and mortar stores. But my interim posts were at Polo and Tommy Hilfiger. And what really formed out of that is like, I don't really want to be in a business where I design it and it keeps getting handed off to people to then get handed to the customer. I was like, I want to know who's wearing my clothes, not because I was so smart or had this great plan in mind. It's just like it didn't feel. It's like cooking a meal.
The connection, there wasn't a connection.
It was not a Mississippi thing at all. Like where your connection stays all the way through to the end.
And I would say the thing about Sid too is that he always loved retail. Like whenever we would, travel, I'm the one who wants to go to the museum, and he's the one who wants to go shopping. Like he was always looking like, let's just hop in this.
Shopping.
Let's go to this store. This place is cool. We got to go find this
place.
Did
that come from a place of like in your childhood or?
Yeah, my grandparents were merchants.
Okay.
They had a implement store, a hardware store, a furniture store, and a clothes store.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And so they basically were controlling downtown.
Pelahatchie. It was all chicken towns.
Small downtown.
Forest and Pelahatchie, Mississippi,
Love
which
it.
they're not on the map. But as a matter of fact, on their ad in the Rankin County News, it would say Collier's Cash and Carry or Collier's department store, and then the address was next to the bank.
Small town.
Small town.
Love that.
But and you don't really know the DNA that's forming in you through life, because I never grew up going, I'm going to be a retailer. But as it kept kind of coalescing, you're like, this is cool to make something and then share it with somebody. And also that's kind of our approach to the clothes. We don't put anything in the store we're not wearing, because then you got to sell it. And if you got to sell it, it ain't sharing anymore.
Right. Well, that's really how Blackberry's evolved. Truly has been, what do we enjoy doing here on this land? And if sometimes there's some crazy ideas, like a winter dinner at Yellowhammer, the pavilion, by the pond. Sam was like, this would be so cool. And I'm like, it is 20 degrees, but okay. And it really was so fun. But
we smoke the
you
same
know,
stuff, I think.
you just, it is so true that if you're selling something, then it doesn't feel real.
No.
And so, now I will say, have y'all had this experience where you really do believe in something, but you have to convince people to get on the train? I mean, there are times when we're like, this is a great idea. We love this. Like, we love cycling. And then it's like, you have to introduce it. Some people just think of you as one thing. And then if you broaden your horizons, you got to.
Well, the biggest challenge, it starts 47.5 inches apart. Us convincing each other, because as much as we are, well, I mean, we really are really attached at the hip, but at the same time, there's some things where, I mean, even at the beginning of the business, Sam's like, do you really need a store?
Yeah, I mean,
Can't you just design?
originally it was just, I said, why do you think that, a lot of people have stores. Like, what do you think is going to make this so different? And it was always just like, I just know I really just want to do this. So we left Land's End. We had
Fired.
Yeah, he was fired, from,
Land's End.
which
That's
took,
a
as
real
I said,
catalyst for finding a new opportunity.
which I had said took longer than I thought it would. But we were in our mid 40s and we had saved enough money. We have 5 daughters for them to, the college money was put away. And we had a little bit of extra cash because Sears bought Land's End when Sid was there, and there was a little bit of a financial windfall. So we had this little bit of money that I was perfectly happy to lose. I said, you know what? Let's try this. And we're going to do it exactly how we both see it. And if it doesn't hit, you're very employable, and so am I. So we'll go do something else. So I think that it was the
other
freedom.
thing is, Ann is so good at making something out of nothing. Because we
It's a
started.
talent.
If you come over to our house and when there's nothing in the cupboard, 15 minutes later, it's like, wow, this is a nice spread here.
I have seen that. I love just even seeing your entertaining. I'm like, how beautiful that you don't overdo things. I just love
Nice
that.
compliment.
No,
Yeah.
but I
It's
mean,
true.
you set a beautiful table, but you don't it doesn't look like you spent hours on it. Anyway, I think, well, you have great style. So
Well, I'm speedy, a little sloppy, but somehow it
that.
comes together. But
It was cooking the stuff up for the store. I mean, it was a lot of furniture from our house.
yeah. So we just moved really quickly. We settled on Atlanta because it had a great airport, and we knew we were producing a lot of things in Europe.
And we had a lot of great local help. Okay. When we went to Atlanta, I thought I knew one person in Atlanta. Well, turned out I knew a few more, but a girl named Lisa Hoffman, who I went to college with, was the real goad in
She was
getting
kind
it
of our
going.
Atlanta tutor.
And she took, I traveled the whole city looking for places. And I started out at Taqueria del Sol, Mike Clank and Eddie Hernandez. And I was like, what the heck are we doing at a taco place in Atlanta on a really cold January night? And after I ate there, I was like, Mamma
like,
mia, this is good.
yeah.
So I drove the whole city like going to the grocery store, every road, every street, back and forth. And end of the week, I was a little disappointed. And so I was like, shoot, I'm going to go back to that taqueria place on the way to the airport. I went there. The parking lot was teeming with cars. And I went there, and it was packed in there. And I'm like, this place is pretty cool. And I told Ann, she was on a plane within 2 weeks to come down to Atlanta. Michael Phillips and Katie Walker started that shopping center we're in.
But when y'all picked that, I mean, it was a new territory.
It was a
was,
high-end
when y'all
food
went
court,
in there.
basically.
Right.
Because you had Taqueria, Ford Fry's new restaurant,
Right.
JCT,
Right.
and Bacchanalia.
Right, Bacchanalia.
You know?
Okay, I've been.
It felt a little like the meat packing district in New York
Right.
to us.
And
It felt cool.
What's the time? Where are we on the timeline? Here?
2007.
2007.
Yeah.
Right when
right
the economy was
before
just
the-
getting ready to
yeah,
take off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is like the people there, like our general contractor was super country. I mean, country, more country than I am even. And he was like, what else you need, Sid? I said, well, I need some display boxes. And sure enough, that afternoon, I get a knock at the back door. And I open it up and I can't even see a person. Somebody's holding a bunch of display boxes. And she said, "Hey, it's Annie." Do y'all know who Annie is? Annie Quattrano.
Oh,
Oh,
love
wow.
her. Yeah.
I heard you need some boxes. So the community there was so cool.
Wait,
And
so we have to tell the listeners Annie is the chef of Bacchanalia.
the
Yes.
two-time James Beard Award winner.
But she was probably so excited for y'all to come because y'all were bringing a different element to the neighborhood. I mean, they had been out there for a while.
She talked
They
about
had,
the
yeah.
pioneer of
Yeah.
all pioneers
Right.
was her and Taqueria.
Yeah.
I was a carpetbagger compared to them.
And we could tell. I mean, I was like, okay, if somebody is driving out of, Buckhead or wherever in Atlanta, and they're going into her shop and they're getting fresh green lentils, they're buying a baguette.
Right.
I thought, I think they might get what we're going to do.
Yeah.
So there was some logic to it, but we
Heart,
were
heart logic mostly.
Right.
and again, it was just a labor of love, and we really just wanted to create something and do it in a way that we saw it, and we're perfectly willing to say, you know what, this isn't going to work, but let's try it just that way.
I feel like back to Blackberry is that we've evolved in a similar way of because we are family owned that we really can make some decisions that maybe don't make sense to everyone else.
And it's
And try it.
iterative.
Try it.
And we're like,
Yeah.
we're going to try this.
Yeah.
And it either works or it doesn't. Or, we try something and we quickly are like, oh, that doesn't work. And we
Right.
change
What do
really
they say?
quickly.
Fail fast.
But you can, you can be more nimble when you don't have this giant structure. I mean, now we have a lot of team members.
Yeah, us too.
But as far as the decision making goes, it's a pretty small group that's really saying, let's try this. Let's, give it a chance.
Yeah.
So,
And you do want to take some shots because otherwise it's not you anymore.
right.
It's like you want to do things that may not seem ordinary. And I only met Sam once, but that guy was he was a dreamer.
Yes.
I mean, and I mean that in every best sense of the
Right.
word.
Yeah.
And the coupling, because you are too, and she is too. It's like you don't just live on an island when you do this. It's all about the team and the teamwork. So her, adding things, giving up things, vice versa with me. We didn't know if this thing was going to work or not. We had no idea. But her dad also was in retail for over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So we both had more of that in us than we even knew how to acknowledge. So,
The other thing that's interesting is that back to you two kind of growing up together. I mean, even though just from your 20s is, Sam and I met in high school. And so when he had an idea that was like, let's move to Blackberry or let's move to California and then come back to Blackberry, I was like, yep, doing it. I mean, we were just a team. And I was like, what do we have to lose?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's fun.
I've
isn't
got
it?
him, we've got our kids, we can feed ourselves. And,
Yes, it was an adventure.
And so I think when you have someone that is doing it with you, I was really the support family person. I wasn't like making decisions about Blackberry with him,
Well,
but
I
I was
think-
But
listening.
you were
and,
running the family business.
Well, I was
the business
running-
of the
I was
family.
enabling him to be working till 2 a.m. Put it that way.
When we first started, it really was just Sid. It was a men's brand for 3 years, and it was only going to be that. I didn't have an interest in being a designer. I was an editor. I was not a designer. But I think it was really important for me to help him build this business because I was the person who really represented him in a way. I helped him cultivate and curate kind of his shop to show who Sid was. And sometimes somebody else doing it besides you can tell your story in a way that he didn't even know some of these things. I just had to, like one thing we did, and everyone in the whole world has a mood board now. But for us, when we first built his shop, for me it was a bulletin board. And what I remembered was because we didn't know anybody in town, and when I would go to his offices, I had my own offices, but you had your little bulletin board and you put up things, and he's such a collector. There would be just like maybe there would be a picture of me on it. Maybe, I doubt that. But like he would have a leaf that he found on the, or just some cool tear sheet that he found. And so I said, I want to put something in the shop that is so people know who you are. And so I made this, all this stuff that he loves. And to me, that was the representation of Sid Mashburn, and we've kind of kept that in all of our, it's like a token thing we do in each of our stores. So it's not really a mood board, it's more of like a biography board in a way, and half the stuff on it, I don't expect people to even know the true origin of it, but it's really important to me to say, this is special, this is who I think Sid is, and who I want people, people who know me might go in and they'll see something, whether it's some old, a picture of an old album cover that I loved. Anyway, so I think.
And does each store have a different motif of the bulletin board?
Kind of, yeah. They're all actually there are some carryovers. Like there's a few pictures that I just adore, and so that might be the little thing that if you go to all the stores, you'll be like, oh, I know that picture.
Sure.
But in Dallas, you get Bob Hayes, Roger
Yeah, that's
Staubach,
true. Yeah,
Tom
we do.
Landry, or in,
We'll tilt it to where we are. Like in
Right.
Nashville, we'll do some country thing. So anyway, so
Yeah.
but it does help you. Things like that are kind of a constant reminder of who you are, what you like. Because it's easy to forget because you get bogged down in decisions that are not as much fun.
Right.
So that's kind of fun to revisit those things.
I have a swim team from my brother when he was like 14 that I'm pretty sure he probably wouldn't like to have display in the New York store, but it's nice for me.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love
It's a
it.
boy,
Yeah.
It's cute.
Yeah.
So in 2007, you start the store, and it's physical place. There wasn't much e-commerce or
No,
any online shopping at the time.
None.
Actually, Land's End.
Land's End was
the
like
D-
one of the first.
DTC.
Yeah.
Actually, they started it oddly in '94.
Wow.
I mean, they're out in the middle of cornfield with cats surrounded by cows, and they are rocking. I mean, they were.
Okay, but see, I remember the J.Crew catalog coming when I was in high school.
Yeah, but you had
for
to
sure.
call.
And
You
I
called.
was thrilled. And back to like family roots, it's so funny. We laugh over how our grandmother was the queen of the catalog.
Oh yeah.
And if she had a return or something, she'd write this beautiful handwriting, beautiful letter of why she was returning it and why it
Was
was
she in Mobile?
disappointing. She was in Mobile.
That
But
sounds
she
right.
grew up in Dallas, and she had traveled as a child to Paris, and anyway, she had this very interesting life. But we laugh as a family, we laugh, and I think we probably have some saved little, the insert in the catalog.
yeah.
We used
You
to
to
do
fill out the return
The little
form.
set in
Yeah.
the middle stapled in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I mean, the
yeah.
JCPenney Christmas catalog
Yes,
would
right.
come. And,
Yeah.
it was really this. It was like a phone book, and
Right.
you would spend hours looking through it.
Yeah.
So what was the transition like for you all? You decided to, or was it just part of the industry wave that you had
Oh, you mean to
move?
get online?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
We knew early on we were going there,
Mhm.
and we didn't know really how to. So what we did is fairly early on we set up a splash page.
Mhm.
Was that what?
yeah, it was. We had a site 1st and then was
Talked
it
about what
2000?
music we like, what clothes we like, kind of our approach to dressing.
It was your online bulletin board.
Yeah, it was. That's
kinda
true.
was.
That's
It's
true.
exactly
But
what it
was
was.
it 2012 we went online?
No, it was 2011 we
Yeah.
launched. And actually,
I had started my own
2000
business in 2010. So we started the women's store in 2010.
and she raced off to $970 a square foot in the first year. It's like,
Retail
I better
talk.
pick it up over at the men's store. She was killing it.
But our daughter.
Well, she's also got jewelry. That helps.
It does
She didn't-
help,
she didn't have
actually.
jewelry then,
Yeah.
no.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
didn't.
Okay.
It was
I had kind of
all
best of,
woven
yeah.
shirts.
Yeah.
It was the era of women in woven shirts and
Yeah.
and dresses and
It
sandals
was kind
and
of best
espadrilles.
of. Like I
It's
didn't.
greatest hits.
Yeah. But really, when we first started, our oldest daughter started the business with us. She was in when we moved and started our business. I'll set the stage. We had a senior in high school, and then we went down to a 6-year-old. So during that time period, I was actually really, really still taking care of the family. And
Five
Sid,
girls.
who needs a lot of taking care of. But it was it was kind of a family. Everybody was into it because it was all consuming. So when she graduated, so she helped me start my own business when she was just like a junior, and she came home in the summer. She'd work with me, but when she properly graduated from college, we set up a photo studio above our offices in Atlanta.
Jank City.
And started online. And so she really helped us build the website, start taking pictures, and put stuff up. I mean, it's so crazy.
I couldn't even stand
your
up there
to look back. Yeah,
because the ceilings were like this high.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a
I
mess.
mean, back to
yes.
her magic power
Yes.
of making something
out
out
of
of
nothing. Truly, I mean, it is
Yeah.
so crazy when you look back at that.
Yeah.
And now it's totally different. But
Although we
that's how
have to
started.
say
Yeah.
that your product, everything y'all make is high quality.
Well, that is
So
true. Yes.
we're
he
talking
did
on
know
the
how to do that.
creative
Yes.
side of
Yes.
setting a table,
Yeah.
accessorizing.
Yeah. We
you
go
know,
to the right
what-
people for
yeah,
that stuff.
yeah,
These people
yeah.
have been doing it for hundreds of years.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but it is, yeah. So then just on and on. I mean, we're now almost 20 years in, but
I love
started small.
hearing that you were putting your music and what you liked on. I mean, that was like that's what people do now for content
Yeah.
marketing and what they're doing around online retail. But like that was important to you back then.
It was like, I mean, when you walk in, we were trying to make it like you were coming over to our house for the afternoon. And when you walk in, we don't say, what can we help you with today? We say, hey, man, you want something to drink? You want a Coke or a Sprite, or you want a beer or a glass of water? Or do you just want, directions to the bathroom? Or,
Silence.
basically it's just like, what
Welcome.
up?
Right.
And then
love
we
your
kind of
little
let
go away on the go away thing. So sometimes it's like, okay, you want me to go away? I'm just going to let you go over there.
we go away though.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
what I
let
mean.
them just
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
roam.
Yeah.
And then we say, you holler if you need anything.
I think sometimes trying on clothes, especially a new, can be one of your most vulnerable
Oh,
moments.
100%.
Like, so
You're taking your clothes off somewhere.
in somebody's store.
In somebody's store,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what is it? What is the moment that you guys are like, this is what this person needs?
Okay, this sounds slightly clinical, but we call it connecting and contextualizing. Okay, it's like, how do you because ultimately, if we get them a drink, we go back and we'll have them the Coke, and then we just say, holler if you need anything. We're here for you. And then we just kind of keep wandering. And we actually have very low shrinkage, interestingly. You know what shrinkage is?
No, tell us.
It's a retail word.
Shoplifting. We have very little because we are constantly in, that was not the intent.
Yeah.
Was to reduce shrinkage. It was just like, how do you keep yourself available? The other big thing we did early on was we put the tailor shop as an open air in the store tailor shop, which nobody really does unless you're going to a custom tailor, probably in Italy. Okay. And so it was important for them to see things going on in the store. Okay.
I mean, that's a little like food too, because you are probably too young, but remember Spago in LA was like the first, open air kitchen.
And if
I mean,
you
maybe
don't,
I'm wrong.
think Waffle House.
Right.
But
You've
you have
seen
it.
it all happen.
I really don't love to watch the Waffle House in action. I'm not going to lie.
I don't mind
I'm
it.
not afraid to go to Waffle House.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But right. Being part of and getting connected to the process is,
And he wanted to elevate it too. He was like, okay, so I've got a guy can come in and he can buy a pair of Levi's at a, much lower price point. Or he could,
$55 a pair for a pair of Levi's. That's pretty good unless they're on discount at Dillard's or somewhere.
right.
but we can make them fit you if you want. Like if you're
Yes.
like a rocker and you want them a little tapered.
Right.
Or, and then that guy's in the dressing room with a guy who's going to buy a custom suit. And the guy who's going to buy the custom suit feels kind of cool because he's next to the rock and roll guy.
The rock and roll guy goes, that thing's a baller there. It's
Right.
like, and it acts as a little bit of kind of a very loose
Right.
fraternity where everybody gets a bid.
Yeah.
Come on in and we're all friends here.
Well, I do love it. Like if I'm trying something on, I love it when someone else who's shopping gives their opinion
Me
because
too.
as much as I want to always trust the people that work there, I'm also like,
They're selling me.
sometimes, I mean, they really want to sell this dress.
Yeah.
And so when someone else in the store is like,
Oh my
oh
gosh,
gosh,
she looks so
that's so
cute.
pretty. I love that. I'm like, oh, boom.
Our best salesman
yeah.
is Don Roberts, who's a 19-year customer. Okay, because he comes in and he acts. It's so funny the way he walks around the store because he'll go by a customer. He's like, "I got that jacket about a month and a half ago. I've worn it like 8 times already," and then just keeps moving. It's like he's a stream of consciousness, like the Greek chorus going, "Oh yes, yes." But the other thing is, interestingly, we don't do individual commissions. Partly for that reason, because we want to take the pressure off selling stuff and just sharing stuff. And also the commission becomes a shared commission. It's kind of like pooled tips in a bar or something like that. So yeah, it's nice to hear from other people.
But it is really fun, like that community you get when you're, because I actually, I do, as I said before, I do not love to shop all that much. I feel like I know how to get what I like to get, and I just want to go and get it. But every time I go into my own store, I end up leaving with something. You know, I need something like a hole in my head, but it's just like, you know, you try something on and then someone's like, oh my gosh, that looks so great on you. And you're like, you're right. I don't need this, but I have to have it right
And
now.
guess who's the best salesman in the whole company?
Yes. Yeah. He always says that.
Doesn't
Because you know
surprise
why?
me.
Because she's like, no,
I do.
that's not for you.
Yes.
This
Right.
is
That is
for
so
you.
important.
It is so
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
And it's
So-
more fun to do that because then you're not like, oh, I got to move this piece.
Right.
You know, I got to make my numbers.
But
we are-
also, when someone tells you that something doesn't look good on you,
You
it
trust
makes me.
them.
I'm like, I like this person. Like, thank you for being honest.
Well, you're
But you
coming
know-
to us to buy confidence, basically.
And
and
we
trust.
have the
Yeah.
privilege of actually being with people when they, you know, sometimes, you know, I've had customers. I mean, I'm not in the store as much anymore, but when I first started, I was in the store every day. And, you know, the stories that you remember, I had a woman who had, she loved that I had pockets in my clothes because she said, you know, she had just lost her husband, and she was like, you know, he always carried my lipstick, and I need my own pocket to carry
That's
my
so
lipstick.
sweet.
And I was like, oh, I mean, it was just so beautiful.
Right.
And you know, you have women who have maybe they are going through breast cancer and they come in and they're really vulnerable. They're wearing a scarf on their head, but they want to feel beautiful, and you are in the dressing room with them and you are helping them feel like the best way that they can. So it is vulnerable, to your point. You have a really it's a wonderful job.
It is a talent, truly, for people that know how to help someone look their best. And I think that gets overlooked in today's social media, you know, like it if you like it if you want to, whatever it is, all this stuff. I don't even know.
I
But-
don't know this either.
Because to have a
Shop
person
to know it,
say,
like it, love it.
to have a
hit the
person
button.
say like, okay, you have really beautiful collarbones, or
Yes.
you have this feature, you know, let's accent that. And because not dressing trendy is the best thing we can all do, is to say, this is what I love. Like, I love a button down, truly.
Well, you look good
And
in
when
it.
I discovered yours, I was like, oh, so excited because they fit me right.
And you don't need that much, you know. When
Right.
I worked, what I thought I could offer, actually. Okay, so it was all about Sid, but then in the end, I said, you know, I actually do have something to offer, because when I mean, the best, most wonderful experience I had, also the most harrowing, was working at Vogue. Okay, but I worked with all these women who were mostly older. You know, I was 24, and my boss was 62. And most of the upper echelon of the editors were in their 40s, 50s. And they
Back
were
then,
the
62 seemed very
yeah, she
old.
Oh, 62 is the new 40.
Oh my God. It was my revenge when she would be so mean to me. In my head, I was like, well, you're old and I am young. That's the only thing I had. But they, you know, they dressed in a way that they moved through their life. Like, they were workers. They were darting across the office. They did not wear fashion in a way. They loved fashion and incorporated it into the way they dressed every day. But they were like really amazing working women, and they all had so much confidence. So for me, I've told this story many times, but I, you know, also worked with the most beautiful models like in the world. Christy Turlington. I was on all the Avedon shoots with Brooke Shields and Isabella Rossellini. Isabella Rossellini had a major confidence and was a beautiful woman, but you know, younger girls, they had not formed themselves yet, and so I saw a little bit of insecurity in some of these beautiful models that were out of, you know, a painting. I always thought, I would rather have the confidence of that older woman who wasn't as, had wrinkles, but she had character. And I wanted to grow into that woman and would have traded, if I had a choice, I would say I'd rather be her. Learning to dress really well and having that confidence of just moving through your life so you don't have to think about it. Like I don't want to waste my time worried about what I'm gonna. I mean, I want to delight in the morning. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look like this person today or that
And that's the
person.
connect and contextualization also, is because you go back and after you've delivered the Coke to the guy, you're like, let us know how we can take care of you today. If there's anything in particular you want, we'll take care of you. But the other thing is you also have to have the EQ or the antenna honed to go, this guy's in a hurry and I think he needs some socks. He's probably going to the airport. You got to kind of
Right.
also
talking.
check into that without
Yeah.
going there.
Yeah.
So it's because ultimately a guy comes in and says, well, I'm looking for a brown suit. And it's like, well, tell me about a brown suit. Do you have another suit in your closet? So we'll try to, if they've got time, we'll try to reroute them a little bit and say, let's contextualize a little bit and find out a little bit more
Do you
about
like
you.
brown? Why do you want brown?
Why brown? And
Right.
because then we would typically move them possibly to a navy suit because of the versatility of it and the occasion application to wearing the navy suit grows immensely off of the brown suit. Okay.
Right.
So it's very important for us to hear them out and also for them to understand that we're going to take you through your progressions or we're going to take you through ours and your progressions so that when you leave here, you're going to go, wow, that was great, because we're trying to think of them before the sale, during the sale, and after the sale, because the best is after the sale and they come back and go, gosh, people are asking me about my clothes.
I know.
They've never done that
And
before.
they feel good, which is what
Right.
kind of what you were saying. I mean, making somebody feel great so that they can just do everything else they need to do in a day. is
And
really
not
a
have to
gift.
think
Yeah.
about it. I mean,
Yes.
but
Key.
knowing what colors look good on you
Mm-hmm.
and what shapes look good on you can completely change your shopping and dressing experience.
And
Like
what to travel in.
if someone goes in a shop and they try on 3 dresses
Mm-hmm.
that are not meant for them, that is back to Sarah's point. You're in the dressing room and you're feeling not great, But if you know, okay, blue's going to look good on me, and you try on a blue dress that, shows off some feature that is good for you, then it's like, confidence immediately.
And things that you're going to make a memory in. Like,
Yeah.
if somebody, comes to have a beautiful weekend at Blackberry, what they're going to wear across the dinner table from whoever they're with is memorable. Like some of my favorite memories I associate with what I was wearing on that time. So it is really
And
important.
I'm sure y'all go through the same, you might not call it connecting, contextualizing, but you go through the same progressions to go, how do we make this a really great experience for these people? Because ultimately, the money is very important, but it's not as material as the encouragement and the back and forth and the bon ami you're building with people.
Oh, yeah, we would have nothing to do.
That's right.
If we made a lot of money doing it wrong,
Oh yeah.
then it would all be ending.
Or made a lot of money
it's-
and you were not doing it to the degree you knew was
Right.
possible.
But that's
I
not
mean,
why you
our
started
goal
it.
is for Blackberry to go on forever. And this year we're celebrating our 50th anniversary.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Which is part of what brought y'all here. Y'all
Yes,
were here
it's such an honor.
to we had a little gathering in honor of our collaboration. I do love those pieces. I'm so excited.
So tell us about the collaboration.
Well, we worked with your team to say what are the things that people would want to purchase when they're here, and then some of the things I love we did like a little robe and nightgown set that somebody people love to take home what they experienced at the vacation they've just had. So
And
we
I
have
love Liberty fabrics.
Yes,
so
something
we
we've
picked
always
a
had
Liberty
that
that's-
reminds me of this. It's all the
Yeah.
beautiful
it's
flowers.
very
and,
garden
yeah.
inspired.
So we did some
It's
stuff
also
with
southern.
that. Yeah.
It's pretty southern.
Yeah.
And English. It's like it
Yes,
combines
I mean
a lot
it
of great
fits
things.
into your decor.
I always had my mom always made us smocked dresses out
Me
of
too.
my daughters, she made them with Liberty fabric. Mine weren't always Liberty. Some of mine were like gingham from the
That's
Bath
cute.
and
Joann's.
Dime or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hancock.
Yeah. Yes, Hancock. Which is so sad. All those stores
gosh.
are gone.
I know.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
But back to, and then of course Sid, Sid had a good take on how to do the logo. I think that I always
Like
struggle
some
with
small details.
It's
the
well, what's
details
funny
of-
is people love to memorialize someplace they visited, and you guys are in
Big leagues.
the highest echelon or pantheon of great people. People want to say, "Hey, I was it's Blackberry Farm," and so we were trying really hard to say, how do we really recreate a Blackberry in an embroidery?
right.
And it was harder than we thought it was going to be.
Join the club.
Yes, exactly. But
It looks really great, though.
It
I have
does
to
look
say.
great.
I think
Yeah.
it came off really nicely. And then
Yeah.
also when we walked in on Sunday night and met Jessica and Randy, and of course Randy's from Mississippi, so we immediately
Got along.
hit it off. But they couldn't have been nicer, and you could just feel sort of the hospitality oozing out of them, like they love what they do. And so, and also your team in doing this, the back and forth was fantastic, because we've got Connor and working on our end in sales, and then Stephanie, and working back and forth with y'all. It was just it really was a collaboration, I feel like, because y'all got to pick what you wanted, and it was things we liked. And anyway,
I mean, best of. I guess our, Sid's polo is a little like pimento and cheese, whatever you're famous for,
Right.
something like
I
that.
know,
It's
some
kind of
good
perfect.
classics.
So yeah.
oh,
yeah.
And that lightweight sweater. The sweater weight.
that was the Escorial, which is a special sheep like y'all have here, not an East Frisian.
Right.
Okay, but it's an Escorial. So, is the name of the sheep from Spain, and it was originally kind of came to life back in the 1400s.
Oh, wow.
And then when one of the nephews of the king went to Germany, they sent some sheep over there, and then ultimately made its way to the sort of the wool capital of the world, which is Australia and New Zealand. And the yarn is a long staple yarn. It's very, very. I'm sorry, I'm getting in the weeds.
No, I love this. This is
it's-
fascinating.
It's very similar to cashmere, but this microstructure of it has this sort of cyclical helix on it, to where there are black holes in the yarn. So when the light hits it, the light goes down into the yarn, whereas cashmere, it doesn't have that, so the light reflects off of it,
Right.
so you get a little shine. This does not have the shine, or not, or quite the shine, but it lasts forever. It doesn't peel. It's a magic yarn.
Okay, let's go back to music for a minute.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us, I mean, you grew up in Mississippi, you love music, but
Yeah.
that's always been a vibe in the stores.
Yeah,
You have a turntable in all the stores.
yeah.
Okay.
Just tell us about
I
music.
want to talk about. Okay, so Sid for me is an amazing designer, but he has the ear of like whatever kind of a. So Julia Reed, who we all love in the
Yes.
South,
Yep.
was a great friend of mine, and she explained to me that her dog, who she adored, because he was a hound, she said he doesn't just smell a chicken soup. He smells every part of the chicken soup. He smells the bone, he smells the meat, he smells the vegetables. Like they have this extra sense. And I feel that way about Sid. Like when he listens to music, there are things that he points out to me that I cannot hear. And then when he points them out, I'm like, wow. So I think that Sid has like a super listening. He's just, for me, he's more about music in a way. That's his superpower. So when he was going to build out the store, he was like, well, I have to have a turntable in the store. But he has rules for the turntable, which you now can take over after my intro.
Music's very important. In Mississippi, you just sort of took it for granted, and you listened to every station. Although I kind of pushed country music aside when I was young, because it felt too country, too Mississippi, cut too close to the bone in a way. Plus, Elvis had gotten to his schmaltz level at that time, and you didn't realize how incredible all of his earlier stuff was. But anyway, so you listened to WZZQ, which was like actually they were the guy that started that radio station was, or not started the radio station, was DJ's Bob Pittman, the guy who started MTV.
Oh, wow.
And
He's also from Mississippi.
he was also
From Mississippi, I
he's a
didn't know
PK.
that.
You know what a PK is? Preacher's kid.
Oh,
And so they were the first ones to play the whole side of an album. Okay, and the joke was is because they were taking bong hits and they didn't want to change, you know. But truly, they started album rock there supposedly, but they would play, you know, they'd play Al Green, but then they'd play, you know, Mahavishnu Orchestra, and then they'd play King Crimson, and then they'd play Yes. I mean, it was just this swirl of music, and then, you know, slightly down the dial was WJMI, Jimmy, WKXI, Kixie, and then on the AM was WOKJ, the black spot on your dial.
Do you,
And
do you
so,
see what I'm talking about?
and you would go to all of them. If they didn't have the right song on at that
Right.
moment,
Yeah.
you'd be punched to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And there was a record store there called Bebop Music, and it was fantastic. And they would have bands come by there, and you know, at like a record day or something. But it's the same thing with bookstores like Square Books in Oxford and Lemuria.
Right.
You know, part of their allure was this, that they would have these authors coming
Right.
through and signing books. But I remember early on, I saw James Brown at Jackson State, and my friend and I went, and he's like a big Neil Young fan, so he's like, "When are we going to hear?" I was like, James Brown, and it was the craziest, coolest, fantastic thing ever for me.
Yeah.
And just to see somebody in their element, and like it was like a Broadway show, but on a more localized, grittier level. So when I was in Oxford, I worked at this place called the Gin, which was arguably the best bar ever there, and everybody there loved music. And we'd have this band there called the Tangents, and they were from the Delta. Charlie, I can't remember his name, but Duck Dunn, who was originally a member of the Booker T and the MGs, would come play, and it was like this crazy mix-up, mashup of all these different types of people come together, whether it was gospel, country, rock, funk, soul. And so anyway, that made me like every kind of music. And so in the store right now, if someone puts an album on, they have to start on side one or side A, and the whole album gets played. Okay.
Oh.
And then when it finishes, you flip and you go to side two. So when someone comes in and they hear Frank Sinatra, they might like Frank Sinatra, or they come in, they might like Gang of Four, or Belle and Sebastian.
Or there's a song that isn't one of the popular songs that you're listening to, which I think our children are missing out on.
Completely.
The B-side or the like fourth song in.
A deep cut on
was-
Abandoned
right.
Luncheonette. You know,
I mean,
you're like,
yeah.
whoa, what is this?
I mean,
So these days on Instagram, as a matter of fact, I just sent it out to, you know, a half dozen friends, is they basically dissected, I think it was either Let's Stay Together or Love and Happiness, all 16 tracks.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
Oh,
so that's
fun.
Al Green, who
Yeah.
still preaches in Memphis. If you want a Sunday service, he's there every Sunday. But Al Green, he's a top three for me.
I mean, that's on our packing tape. Says Love and Happiness.
It says Love and
Yes,
Happiness
I
on our
love
packing
y'all's
tape.
packing tape.
Hey, we stole it from Al Green.
Love it.
So, but anyway, they literally do every single track, and it is very difficult to understand that it's Al Green at the beginning because of all the you know, the way the voices are, the way the drums come in. As a matter of fact, we went to his church in Memphis one Sunday, and the whole thing started with basically there's a guy on the organ when you walk in the front door. We were 30 minutes early, and he's just playing, and then a guy wanders over and starts playing bass, and then another guy comes in and he starts playing the piano, and you're like, there's nothing choreographed at all about it. It is a jam session.
It's just
And-
feel.
And then the choir starts coming into the choir loft, and the ladies are there in the white gloves. You know what they're for?
I do.
In case you get slain in the spirit, they catch you.
Oh.
So you got to have the white glove. That's the white glove touch right there. But just seeing all that is, I mean, it would not be fair to our business if we didn't have music as such a central part of what we do. We sell records. We did sell audio equipment for a little while, but that didn't go so well. We might
That was
bring
an
it back.
idea that had to try.
Right.
And we
Try
pulled it
things,
off.
you
So
know.
anyway,
Are you nerdy about what kind of turntable you have?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah, we are, and the cartridge. But also, we don't want it to. Again, it can't be precious. You still
Right.
have to be
Yeah.
able to kind of bounce it around sometimes.
Mhm.
So, but we also take requests. we love to do that. If somebody wants to hear something, we'll play it for them.
I'll take a Coke and some Al Green.
Somehow great.
Yeah. Love that.
I mean, it's so funny. Is the music is the galvanizer in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
That might be the best selling point in the whole store.
I mean, we're always trying to take you someplace emotionally. You know, like the spirit of the store is, you know, people, it's hospitality, you know, centric, but we want you to take that memory of actually purchasing something and then you have that memory. You had a really great time there. And then when you put that thing on, you may not remember exactly, but you might have a feeling. I mean, I always
Carries with you.
yeah, I would tend to buy things when I traveled because I was in a different state of mind. And I, you know, love those things that I bought when I was in a specific country or it was a really great
It's
trip.
like coming
And
to
so-
Blackberry.
Yeah.
You want some souvenir. I mean, you got the emotional souvenir, but like, what else can you take with you?
Yeah.
And so we're also trying to give the Calgon moment, okay? But do y'all know who Niles Rogers is? Do you remember Freak Out? That
Oh,
song?
yeah.
Okay, so he basically that was about Studio 54. Okay, and he and his pals couldn't get in, and so they came up with a song that celebrated that. But then he said the first time he saw Roxy Music, and he saw Brian Ferry, and you know these guys wearing these outlandish clothes that didn't match. Okay, like you know, film. You know,
Not like
the
the Osmond
guitarist was dressed like a astronaut, or
Right.
and then Brian Ferry's in a dinner jacket. You know, another guy's dressed like Colonel Sanders, but then they got a cool, you know, these girls singing backup, and they're playing this strange music that's got this little undercurrent of soul to it. And he's like, they took me to a place that I hadn't been before, you know, and that's what we would. We're not going quite that far, but we're trying to take you someplace that makes you feel good when you come and when you leave.
Yeah.
Well, I love that music is such a connector.
Me
And
too.
I love how y'all use it in your store. And
Food,
just,
music,
yeah.
travel. It's all of that. I mean, we met this couple at the event, the Bryants from Raleigh, 2 nights ago, and he said to me last night, he's like, "Man, I like you."
I love that.
We've interacted for maybe 30 minutes, but it's funny what a place like this can
Sets
do
the stage
to
for-
engender this sort of cross-cultural
Well, it's
moment.
also, I mean, the way your shop feels, and people are obviously coming to Blackberry for a few nights. So they're coming to relax and to get away. But you have created such a great vibe in your stores that if you're on Madison Avenue and you walk into y'all's store, it feels like you can take a breath,
Aw,
which
that's very
feels
nice.
so
That's so sweet of
different
you.
as a girl from Alabama walking down Madison Avenue. It is the most welcoming place.
Thank you.
And so, for anyone listening who's feeling lonely and sad on a cold winter day in New York, or a really hot,
Yes, we have air conditioning.
hot summer day, you should pop in Sid and Ann's store.
It's a little bit like
What is
Ellis
y'all's-
Island,
What's
Yeah.
your New York address?
It's 74th and Madison.
926.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is how neighborly that area of New York is.
Yeah, people come
Yeah.
in with their
People come in-
dogs
Yeah.
and they just stop and
They
say
come in to
hi.
visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, you don't think of that as a New York thing, but they do.
Okay, I know y'all have got to get on the road to get home, but tell us, just remind us, what cities are all your stores in?
Descending order by date. We have Charlotte. He's going to test me.
No pressure.
Charlotte, North Carolina, Nashville, Tennessee, Los Angeles, California. We just opened a women's store, but we've had a men's store there for about 10 years.
And what part of LA
It's in
are y'all
Brentwood Country
Okay.
Mart, and it's
Oh,
so
it's in the
magical.
Country
Oh
Mart?
my gosh, I
Okay,
love that
somehow I
store.
missed that.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
That's a cool
It's
place.
really
Okay,
great. It's,
yeah.
it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Then we have Houston. No, that was okay. New York. You're right. DC, Dallas, Houston,
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it. I got
okay.
it right.
Cities.
Yeah.
Good job. Good for the brain.
yeah,
Going
yeah,
backwards.
yeah.
Great.
They're all great and very different. We like to say that they all are kind of like, they look like siblings, every store. Like, it's really important for us not to have it be like cookie cutter. Like, you know, you have different parts of your property that are distinct for what they are. Every store really is kind of a different little bit of different look,
Yeah.
but you can tell it came from the same people.
Right.
But the
I mean,
clothes
it's
are all
important.
roughly the same. The thing that distinguishes them really is temperature.
Yeah,
Right.
we put most of the same
Climate.
stuff
Yeah.
in everywhere.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Where can people find you online?
Oh, mashburn.com, sidmashburn.com, shopmashburn.com,
Yep.
maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, we didn't even get into that. But that is has been a challenge kind of to represent ourselves in the way that we want to, because a store experience is totally different than an online experience. But we love, I want to buy stuff online. I want to
But-
buy it quickly.
Your website has both like the Ask Sid column
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're going to need this. Like,
I know. I love y'all's, I mean, not newsletter, but I mean, you're going to need this. It's so great.
Yeah.
Y'all,
You
if
need this,
you
I promise.
cannot
It's
tell,
common people.
if
always-
you
they're
can't
so
tell already, these are two really authentic, real people. So even if you don't think you need to buy anything from them, but you should,
at least sign up for their
you
emails.
should sign up because they do the
Nice, yeah.
best job. And I mean, Sid's playlists. I mean, anyway,
Yeah.
there's so much great content, and I love,
Thank
love,
you.
love. One of my favorite things is I love it, Anne, when you do your little poses. So some of a friend of mine used to
sound
live in
so
your old
Southern
house.
when
And
you
so
said that.
when you just, it's like you've propped up your phone and you're just like doing a squat, showing your pants or your jeans or your shoes. I'm like,
the worst part of my
love her.
job,
No, but
actually.
it is
Yeah.
so great, Anne.
Yeah,
it
you're
is
very
so
sweet.
great.
It's you have
So
to do
great.
it now.
Everything's
Yeah.
a backyard play for us.
No, it's so authentic and so true to y'all. It's so great.
We're just trying to let you know how it looks.
Well, that's
being
great.
helpful.
I mean, who
Yeah.
wants to buy something from like a model that is like a size -0? I mean, sorry, that's not realistic.
Well, the other
No,
thing
we
is,
make real
I just have to
clothes, yeah.
say also that we're totally inspired by you and what you've done. I think, it's been a long time since we've come up here, but even seeing,
Yeah.
the way this place continues to grow and evolve, it's really cool. I mean, it really, even this morning, like when we were coming over here and saw all those sheep in the pasture in the high grass, you're like, golly, this place is real.
Yeah.
This is the real deal. There are no put-ons, no fake. It's a working place. And like you talking about that your family's farm was down the road from this. It's just super cool. And we're proud to be associated with you and what y'all are doing.
Yeah, so happy 50th.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much for
Oh,
doing
it
this.
was such a
It's
treat.
Such a treat.
Yeah.
Such
You
a treat.
inspire us. As I
Well,
said, really
back
do.
at you.
Yeah.